Guys, did you know that 90% of online businesses actually fail within the first 120 days? That's not even 4 months. And here is why. Now, truthfully, the first time I heard this statistic, I was a bit skeptical, to be honest. But upon further thought, it's actually true, because from what I see, the majority of online businesses don't generate enough revenue to have a meaningful impact on the lives of the owners. And by that measure, I can see why that would be considered a failure. There are 3 main factors that I've seen lead to this, and that's what I want to discuss in this video, because I don't want you guys to fall into that if you're currently or at least plan to run an online business. The very first and most important factor is that a lot of business owners, online business owners, they have absolutely no strategy to acquire new customers. It's surprising, but it's true, because the majority of them want to rely on passive means of customer generation because their business is online. They have a website or they have an app. The main method that they want to use is word of mouth or something called SEO. Here is the problem with these passive methods. I'm going to start off with word of mouth. Yes, word of mouth is good. However, the reality is the majority of people who you get on your website or to download their app from word of mouth will be family and friends. And I'm sorry to break it to you, but these people are not real customers. The main reason why they're on your app or on your website is because you told them to do it. It's not the case that they're convinced that there's value there or that they're excited about the service or product itself. What they're doing is not hurting your feelings. So you cannot actually sustain a business based off of that. You need to introduce real value and convince people of the real value of what you're presenting. So what tends to happen here is that there's an initial spike because all of your friends, all of your family members, them jump on. Maybe they buy something, maybe they peruse the site, peruse the app, they might send you a message and you feel good. Yeah, you look at your statistics, you're seeing a spike, but what happens after that? Big fall off. And once you've fallen off, you stay off if this is the method that you're using, because you haven't done anything to transfer value and to actually hook them long term. SEO. SEO is really important and it's actually a great strategy to get passive traffic to your website from search engines like Google, like Bing. However, often what is not said is that SEO actually takes years to start working. Years. I'm not talking 1 year. I'm talking 2, 3, 4, 5 years to start bringing in a significant amount of traffic to your website. So, yes, it's good to do, but it's something that's more of a long-term strategy, not short-term. Now, of course, when you look this up on YouTube, you look this up on Google, you're not going to see a lot of people talking about that aspect of it because they're selling SEO and they want you to buy now. And they know if they tell you that this is a 2-3 year process, that's 2-3 years of you paying them money, you're not going to want to buy it because you won't be interested. In addition to this, SEO is not actually passive, because a content marketing strategy will require that you create content consistently and maintain your old content as the algorithm in Google changes. So you see why these passive methods are not ideal to generating traffic and generating customers. In my opinion, not just opinion, from what I see, because I see the ones that work, I see what doesn't work. The main thing that you need to be doing is running an active marketing strategy alongside your passive strategy. The active strategy will always be working, while the passive strategy is working in the background. Once you figured out or you found a method an active method that's able to generate traffic, what you do? You hire an employee and make them deploy that method while you on the back end try to figure out another active method. At the same time, the passive methods are also working in the background. This is how you generate enough traffic, enough leads, enough customers to sustain your business long term. Passive methods alone will not work unless you happen to get lucky. The second factor that tends to lead to this kind of thing is the mental approach a lot of people take towards their website or their app. Essentially, guys, the decision that somebody makes to part with money is emotional based. If you're focused on tricks and hacks to maybe fool them into getting onto your page, you maybe trick them to click this button, whatever the case may be, that's not going to work long term, because people can pick up on stuff like that. Even if you were to get a one sale quickly, you're not going to get a second sale from that person, and you won't get any word of mouth. You won't be able to sustain that over the long term, because after a while, your platform will be seen as a scammy type platform. If you want to succeed long term in your online business, you need to make the customer aware that you're actually trying to help them as opposed to scam them. People are not stupid. They can pick up on stuff like that. So if you're to get rid of that type of mentality and start approaching your website or your app as a real business where you're trying to provide the best value, you'll stand a much higher chance of succeeding. In addition to this, you won't be so quick to discard it if you're not making money within the first few months, because as I said, or maybe I didn't say, but that's actually normal. You'll continue to work at it, and then eventually you'll hit a threshold where you're actually making money and are able to scale the business, and then your reel will be kicking. Now, the third factor, and really this should be the first, but it's number 3 on my list right now: poor or non-existent customer service. Guys, you see, over time, a lot of online business owners start to view their customers as an email address or as a username. They forget that on the end of the transaction is a real human being, and they want to be treated as such. You see, for any business to succeed, whether online or otherwise, you need to be able to generate repeat sales, as in the same person. Sorry about the noise. Anyway, as in the same person is purchasing from you multiple times. This is key, and the way to do this is to actually build a relationship between you, the business, and the customer. This is achieved through customer service. So the customer should be a top priority no matter what. How do you do this? You achieve this by providing great service during and especially after a purchase is made. And we're going to put a pin in after, because that's really important. If someone knows that if they purchase something from you, they can receive support after the purchase is made, in the case that maybe something goes wrong, this builds a lot of trust between your brand and this person. So even if new brands were to come along selling a similar product, maybe even at a lower price, they don't have that trust with the customer that you have. So they'll stick with you as opposed to going with the other person. Building this trust is so critical, it's ridiculous. But a lot of people overlook this because they are not face to face with people. But I don't want you guys to do that. Keep in mind that the customer is the most important thing to take into consideration when you're making any decision. And when you're adding things to your app, adding things to your website, focus on things that improve the customer experience. If you're not able to come up with these things by yourself, no problem. You can actually reach out to me. I'll analyze your website, analyze your app, and I'll develop upgrades or come up with ways in which you can change or adapt your website or your app to improve your customer relationships. And I guarantee once you're able to improve that relationship, you're going to see a spike in repeat customers. Okay guys, so I hope that you've gotten value from this video. I want you to do something for me real quickly. Look below, you're going to see a button that has an icon of a thumb pointed up like this. Just tap that for me. And if you have a website and you're interested in transforming it from a hobby to a cash flow system, a real business, sign up for the Website Dojo newsletter. The link for that is in the description. Okay? So I'll see you in the next video.